In this project, we looked at the impact of climate change on aggregate productivity, and we basically want to quantify the impact. The reason why it's important is because the way economists have been looking at the impact of climate change on economic outcomes is through the lens of integrated assessment models. These are big macro models that combine economic theory with climate science. And a key object in these models is something that is called the damage function. This damage function maps productivity to climate. And traditionally, we've been thinking about this as being driven by what we call only like direct effects. So think about workers like being less productive during hot days. There is ample evidence across countries that we tend to underperform if it's very hot. Our cognitive abilities might be like lower, or there is more like labor absenteeism. At the same time, engineers also put a lot of emphasis on the role of capital inefficiencies during hot days. So you can think about machines being less precise, or production processes like being interrupted during those days. So these things like contribute to this link between temperature and productivity. But what this paper does and what we bring to the table is an additional channel that has been underexplored before, which is the way companies use both capital and labor efficiently during these days. We find that during very extreme hot days, companies experience a decrease, a drop in output, in production, that is not driven by demand. And what is interesting is that they are able to adjust how much they spend on intermediate inputs, on materials. They are also able to adjust how much they spend on workers, either through like hours or compensation. But they are not able to adjust capital. So capital, I mean, they are stuck with like overcapacity, if you want. So think about machines, think about infrastructure. And that creates a gap, that creates a wedge between the marginal return to capital and the user cost of capital. We then quantify what is the impact of, or what are the aggregate like consequences of having like this like second channel, and we see that for an increase of like 2 degrees Celsius, which is like the Paris Agreement prediction, we would expect more or less like a 1.7 decrease in aggregate productivity loss. Half of it comes from the direct effect, from the impact like through lower like labor and capital efficiency, and the other half like basically comes from this inability of companies to adjust their capital stock during these very hot days. So this is significant, is quantifiable, and it has important policy implications. We think that there are two main policy implications. The first one has to do with the important role of having firm level information that allows us to distinguish between these direct effects and these indirect effects through the efficiency use. And especially these indirect effects are going to inform, so we are right now underestimating the impact of climate change on aggregate productivity because we are not taking into account this second channel. So that's the first policy implication, an underestimation of the impact of climate change on productivity. And the second has to do with inequality. So in the paper we conduct different analysis and different counterfactuals on what would be the impact of increases in temperature across different regions. And we see that some regions are going to gain and some regions are going to lose. But at the end, what this is going to generate is an increase in inequality and in productivity losses across different regions in Europe.